Cyrodiil. As you can see, it's currently guarded by the Imperials, and we spent the last night warming ourselves here, resting out. Oh, hello. Almost bumped into one of said Imperials. Warming ourselves here, resting after a long journey all the way from Lake Ilinalta down in the foothills, up here into the snowy peaks. And today's journey will take us through Pale Pass and down the southern slopes of the High Jeralls Mountains until we reach the city of Bruma in Cyrodiil. The Imperials here have a modest garrison. Not a whole lot of supplies are available. Looks like they've got a little shrine here, a map of Cyrodiil. Not a whole lot of supplies are available to bolster the garrison here at Pale Pass, but nevertheless it is a critical route for transporting goods and military supplies from Cyrodiil to Skyrim. Bruma this way. Whiterun, Helgen, Riverwood, all behind us. I think it's time. Let's head on into Cyrodiil. And just like that, here we are on the Cyrodiil side of the border. It's been a long time since I was in Cyrodiil, and I'm looking very forward to exploring the province once again. But our journey today has just begun. The mountains here are stunning in their scale and also savage in their disposition. A storm could blow in at any moment, and Pale Pass in particular is known for its deadly avalanches. Now, I don't think that's something we have to worry about here today, but many an unlucky traveler has been caught unaware in inclement weather in this pass. The Imperial fort that surrounds us goes back a very long time indeed. In fact, there's been some kind of military presence in this pass since the First Era. Over the millennia, this past has been discovered and lost, rediscovered, re-lost, and occupied by many different empires, including the invading force from Akavir, and of course currently the Empire. But the history of this area is plain to see in the tumbled towers and empty ruins that line the road. I love the faint wisps of cloud that cling to the peaks. One of my favorite things in the mountains. And as I mentioned, while the Tamrielic Empire does currently occupy the pass, they're stretched quite thin, and many of the buildings along the road here lie unoccupied. A little bit further down the road now, the snow is still falling, but it's a little bit slower than it was. And the wind is not quite as bitter cold as it felt higher up in the pass. When a gale whips through here, the wind can get unbearably cold. Cut you like a freezing knife. And that's why places like this exist. This is Snowstone Rest, a cozy little inn where travelers on the road can take shelter from the bitter cold. I think it would be nice to head on in, warm up for a few minutes by the fire. Snowstone Rest is warm and cozy inside. It smells of wood smoke and fresh baking bread. This inn has stood here for a very long time. It attracts all kinds, clearly. Gamblers, drinkers, mostly travelers that stop in here for a drink, perhaps some grilled meat, some bread, and a place to spend the night before they carry on their way. It looks like the table is set for a number of individuals, although there's only a couple of folks here right now. Looks like a tasty pie over there on the desk. And that would be the bread that we were smelling. Looks like some kind of traditional Cyrodiilic pastry, perhaps. Not sure what's inside, but they look good. And there's a hearty stew here, bubbling away over the crackling fire. Maybe rabbit or pheasant. Can't tell from the smell alone. The Snowstone Rest is built in the style of a classic Cyrodiilic inn, a traditional design. It has the common area downstairs and then bedrooms upstairs where the patrons can spend the night for a few coins, of course. Thatched roof does a good job of keeping the cold out and the heat in. surprising, perhaps, but it's a good insulator. Getting supplies up here, of course, is no small feat, being this isolated up in the mountains. Deliveries only come every once in a while, and it wouldn't surprise me if the same merchants who supply the Imperials at Pale Pass with their goods are the ones that supply Snowstone Rest here too. Well, I'm warmed up. Let's head back outside. The snow is still falling, although it's drifting quite gently. And as we reach midday, it's starting to feel noticeably warmer. I'm sad to leave Snowstone Rest behind. It's a very cozy place, but we have other places to see, so let's carry on down the road. We're a ways further down the road now, but not yet at Bruma, but we're headed the right direction, according to this road sign. I bet this bridge is very old indeed. I wonder how many centuries it stood here. This is a curious thing. I just noticed along the side of the trail this statue. I'm not sure who it represents. They're wearing a horned helm, which is the traditional garb of the Nords. They have a massive sword. I'm not sure who it is, but look, in the distance, just past the trees, can you see? Towers of Bruma. Not too much further now. Before we head to Bruma, however, I do have a detour in mind, somewhere that I would love to visit, somewhere quite legendary, in fact. And hopefully you won't mind if we stray off the path a little bit in order to investigate it. And that somewhere is Cloud Ruler Temple. Oh look, you can see Bruma again in the distance. Very lovely. Cloud Ruler Temple has been situated up in the High Jeralls here for many centuries, and slopes of the Jeralls, only here on the southern slopes in Cyrodiil. And you know, it's quite interesting, even though the vegetation here is very alpine and further south quite temperate, it wasn't always so. Oh, look at up ahead, that's Cloud Ruler Temple. Still standing after all these years. This looks like some kind of ruined siege engine, probably belonging to the Thalmor of the Old Mary Dominion. A couple of caribou here, minding their own business. Not particularly startled by our passage. Eating, I guess. As I was saying, the vegetation that we see here today was not always so, at least according to legend, and the exact interpretation of the legend varies, but there's some suggestion that many, many years ago, Cyrodiil was in fact a jungle, and it was converted into plains and temperate forest by the godlike powers of Tiber Septim. Now what have we here? It looks like we have a pair of ogres standing guard, I suppose. Over what? I don't know. They seem content to just kind of loiter. Maybe they're guarding this thing, whatever this thing is. But we're not going to find out, because ogres are nasty sorts, and even though they're unaware of our presence, it's probably not worth risking an entanglement with an ogre. The ogres are native to these mountain ranges, as are a number of other strange creatures that we don't see in Skyrim, including masked bears, which we've not seen here yet, and several species of saber cat as well. But now we are approaching the great bastion of Cloud Ruler Temple. You can see the Akaviri style carvings on each of the massive stone pillars framing the front gate. And despite the ravages of time and war, the temple still stands. And you can see why they call it Cloud Ruler Temple. Up here in the High Jeralls, it's wreathed in cloud, enrobed in mist. This ancient courtyard is now shattered and overgrown, but the temple stands proud still. It has a commanding viewpoint up here on the mountain slopes. From here you can survey the entirety of Cyrodiil out across White Gold Tower in the Imperial City and south. Look at this ancient building. I'm shocked that the wooden structure still stands, but I suppose that's a testament to the Akaviri who originally built it. It has a very unique design, doesn't it? Unlike shall see elsewhere in Cyrodiil. But you can see that the Thalmor siege took its toll. This unfortunate individual has been here for a very, very long time. It's quiet in here. The whistling wind is muted. It feels ancient, and you can almost feel the memories that this place holds. It's played a critical role in much of Tamriel's history, including during the Oblivion crisis. Legend has it that these Akaviri katanas that line the Great Hall represent fallen blades. Each time one of them fell in battle, their sword was retired here to the Great Hall, whose hearth now lies dim, but you could imagine it with a roaring fire inside. There's a certain peacefulness here, despite the violent end of its inhabitants. There's a serenity in somewhere like this, lost to the ages. I've seen what I came here to see. Let's head on out. From out here you can see just how spectacular a position Cloud Ruler Temple has, and look in the distance, right on the peak of a far mountain. That is Frostcrag Spire, a famous or perhaps infamous wizard's tower. We're not going to hit there today, but perhaps in future we'll investigate it. But for now, let's carry on down slope and continue our wander to the city of Bruma. It shouldn't be too much farther now. And after a short wander down the hill, here we are at the gates of Bruma. Bruma, like much in this area, is an ancient fixture on this landscape. It stood here for centuries and, like Cloud Ruler Temple, played a critical role in the Oblivion crisis of the Third Era. The people of Bruma are of hearty stock. It is perpetually snowy and cold this high up here in the mountains, although not quite so bitterly cold as up at Fort Pale Pass. And as you can see, we've spent the better part of the day against the evening sky. Here's another statue dedicated to, I'm not quite sure who, but it looks impressive. The stars are just starting to come out in the sky. This was good timing, because we wouldn't have wanted to be caught in the mountains at night. Many travelers have perished that way, but we've made it here to Bruma, where we will no doubt find a warm hearth and a soft bed, somewhere to rest our weary feet and warm our chilly bones, fill our hungry stomachs. So I think we're going to end our wander here today. At a future time, we'll explore the city and see what it has to offer. But for now, it's time to rest. Thank you very much for coming along on today's wander. I really do appreciate it. And I look very forward to having you along again next time.